Hello, broads.
Good morning.
Oh, my Lord.
Rise and shine.
Rise and shine.
You're right, that's what I want. Rise and shine.
And the new Bachelorette is Kylie Jenner. Can you imagine? Billionaire Bachelorette.
That should be a spinoff. Billionaire, instead of millionaire matchmaker, Bachelorette, billionaire Bachelorette.
Well, did you hear about the spinoff that's happening that's been approved by ABC that Jed Wyatt was one season too late for?
Oh, yes.
Can you, broads, this is a very important topic. Bachelor, ABC has approved. They are going to do a Bachelor-style spinoff for a musician.
I don't really understand. Like, does everyone else have to be a musician?
I have no idea.
I'm confused on the format.
I'm so confused. Is it going to be like 30 musicians competing for each other's hearts? Is there going to be one
musician? Is it like American Idol meets The Bachelor?
Yeah, is it going to be like one musician and then like 30 groupies? Like, I have no idea. Is the musician going to be famous?
Is this going to be like Rock of Love?
Is it going to be Jake Owen? I don't know. Oh, he's dating somebody, though. Maybe he'll break up with his girlfriend. And
should we talk about that real quick?
Should we?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Since we brought up Jake Owen. First of all, he's hot.
Oh, my Lord.
What?
Okay. Oh, my God. I forgot about him because the last time we saw Jake Owen, he was on the date with Hannah and Tyler playing, and I was so distracted by Tyler's beauty that I did not pay attention to Jake Owen. I am so sorry,
and
Jake.
them gazing, Tyler and Hannah gazing into each other's eyes
so
dramatically.
Passionate, so romantic. So yeah, should we cover some drama?
Sure, there's been some drama in the past week or two in the Bachelor world.
There's been quite some drama. Okay, so Jake Owen drama.
Jake Owen basically did like a parody video where he was like, you know, Hannah, go home, leave Peter alone kind of thing. That was sort of the thing of it. But then Chris Harrison. Well,
I get Paige Webster, shout out to one of our broads who immediately sent me a screenshot. So on top of it. Love all of you. She sent me a screenshot of a tweet that Chris Harrison himself put out that said, "My man Jake Owen speaking his truth to Hannah B on behalf of Peter. Hashtag The Bachelor."
And retweets this video.
And retweets the video. Shady Shaderson. Like, are you kidding me, Chris? Oh my God. And then Hannah retweets,
responds and
retweets and says, "Better just be his truth, Christopher. Hold on. Better just be his truth, Christopher. I'm not just chop liver now. You still have to love me and try to understand my mess."
I just found this exchange so absurd.
Like, what is going on? Like,
well, you know, I think Hannah really believed Chris Harrison was her bestie. And then now he's shading her.
Do you think like everyone feels that way always? That Chris Harrison is their best friend when they become the lead?
Well, I don't know. I felt like they really played it up. Like Hannah and Chris were always in a car together, always kind of like.
That's true. I remember there were a lot of like, are they in love? There were a lot of that concept.
Maybe it was just us.
Maybe we just created that subplot.
I definitely felt it. And then now he's shading her by retweeting this Jake Owen video. But then I was also
Chris is offended that she offered herself to Peter third and not Chris Harrison third.
Maybe. I didn't quite understand at first when she said I was like, who is she addressing when she's saying you still have to love me and understand my mess? And then I realized she was talking to Chris Harrison.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't really think he gives a shit about you anymore.
I think he's just rolling in cash. I'm pretty sure. Having so much money, he's just burning it in his fireplace.
Yeah. Which, by the way, we will get to talking more about Hannah, obviously, when we dive into the episode, because there was a little bit of controversy surrounding
our
opinions surrounding her.
Yes.
So we'll get to that. Mm-hmm. Don't worry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, some other scandals for Madison. One of which is the most mortifying thing to ever happen. Let's first cover, there's been some controversy surrounding some posts of hers from 2018 and 2016 on some volunteerism trips, as they're sometimes called, her volunteering in, wherever, the typical slums that one goes on mission trips.
Yes.
I say slums with quotation marks.
Yes.
I believe Africa, parts of Central America or South America, etc.
So, yes.
I think the controversy specifically surrounding one of the biggest factors is one of her captions, I believe.
Yeah, one of her captions that's using the term filthy numerous times, kind of comparing herself to like a savior, a god
persona.
Yeah,
I'll just read it briefly. My heart found its joy as I served the beautiful people the world calls poor, but who seemed so rich in love. I saw myself in those little faces. I looked at them and felt this love that was unimaginable and knew that this is the way God sees me. So, comparing the way she sees these children as the way God sees her. These kids would run to me with gifts of stones or dirt. And this is so cringy to me. Yeah. And I saw myself filthy and broken, offering my life to the creator of the universe and begging him to make it into something beautiful. I sit here in a broken world, small and dirty at his feet, and he who sits so high chooses to commune with me, to love me anyway. He blinds himself to my sin and filth so that he can forge a relationship with me. And this is what he did for me with these beautiful children. He blinded me to the filth. And I saw only children hungry for love that I was eager to share with them. I adored them, not because of who I was, but because of who he is. So this whole caption is really kind of, I love this parallel she's drawing between these dirty children and her sin and God and herself. It's just...
Let's say this.
So bad.
It's real bad. Becca and I have discussed that I think we're going to...
We have an episode coming out Thursday where we're going to talk more about ourselves. Yeah. And I think we're going to dive more into this because we both have personal experience in the church and with the mission trip culture and all of this. And we'll talk more about our experience. But I think the biggest issue that people are having is when you're posting pictures of you with these dirty, poor, filthy children, as Madison calls them, you're one sort of exploiting children whose permission I'm guessing you don't have from their parents or caretakers to post to for thousands of people to see. And also, just directly with her caption, she's positioning herself in this thing of being this savior, the way that she sees her savior, the Lord, and the way these dirty, poor children see her as their savior.
Yes.
And there's just a lot of issues with that. So
yeah, there's a lot, and we're going to get into it heavy because I know for myself, I'd been on numerous trips like this, and
I know
had a lot of, there's a part of me that understands being raised in the church, how there is this, I'm trying to think of the right way to put this, a level of, basically, I know for me, it was me closing my eyes to the truth of why I went on a lot of these trips and putting myself in the savior position and not being honest with myself about that, and instead kind of patting myself on the back. But I do understand that for some people it's a sensitive subject because it's not something that they've gotten into yet.
I think it makes people uncomfortable because no one likes to be in the position where they're feeling called out or like they had good intentions and right. That's not what's being seen.
Exactly. So point is, I'll say on our Thursday episode, I will call my own ass out about some of the trips that I did, and I'll be honest about it. And
we'll get more into it there. But so that's one of the things. The other thing, which is the most mortifying.
Becca, when you sent this to me, I didn't believe it. I saw it and I didn't believe it. I thought Becca made this. I thought she made this up. And I was like, did you? I know you're good at Photoshop, but my God, have you excelled beyond my wildest dreams?
All right, guys.
So, Maddie Prue is her Instagram name.
Basically, she posted the photo right after The Bachelor. She posted a photo of super grateful, the most perfect date with the perfect guy. It's her and Peter.
This is Madison.
Someone got a screenshot of her handle at Maddie Prue, commenting under her photo at Maddie Prue. Beautiful date, Maddie. You are so genuine and real. Heart.
So let me explain this if you're not following.
You're like, why is she commenting under her own photo?
She commented under her own photo, wow, Maddie, what a beautiful date, so genuine and real. So what it appears to be is that she probably has created fan accounts or Finstas to comment on her own photos, and she forgot to, by accident, switch onto one of her Maddie fan accounts and just left it on hers and commented that she's so genuine and real.
As if she was someone else commenting, and then, it was quickly removed.
But it
not
was
quickly
screenshotted.
enough. 22 seconds after she posted it, someone screenshot.
Honestly,
nothing is safe.
Honestly, the sleuths of the Bachelor world are just, it's next level.
So, yeah, that happened. And also, then one of my friends started to do a deep dive into her comment section, because even before that comment, my friend noticed that there was a number of comments using the specific verbiage like genuine and real, which she thought was odd. And she started clicking through some of these accounts, and they're very obviously like fake accounts where the person has like one post and it's of like a flower, and then they have like 20 followers and they're following like 600 people, or then some of them are like foreign accounts with like everything's in a different language. So basically what this is a sign of is when you're paying for bots to comment under your photos.
Yes.
But Jess and I can just not wrap our head around.
I'm like, Madison, my love, my sweet love, you got 300K like overnight.
Yeah.
So why are you using
like
a fake fan account to like compliment
over
yourself?
80,000 likes on like one of her first photos from the show. Like that's remarkable.
It's remarkable. And also there's like hundreds and hundreds of comments that are so kind because she had a lovely date with Peter. It wasn't,
Yeah.
I would understand this if like she was like in a villainous position and was getting a lot of hate. So she wanted to then be like, oh, I better make sure.
That's what was actually disturbing about this.
Yes.
I'm like, why is she paying for more nice comments or making accounts to comment on her own? I don't get it.
Madison, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't understand.
Now, I do know people who, one of my friends, she created a fake account, but so that she could like argue with people if they make a point, you know? So she'd be like, well, actually, that's not, which I also sort of understand.
Yeah.
But it's very odd to me if she's getting thousands of supportive comments that she's making fan accounts to just add to the supportive comments.
You know what I would do? I would create an anti-account and start controversy on my page. And get like my stands to go after, but it was actually me dissing myself. Be like, wow, Jess.
Or you're like setting
a
yourself up
bitch.
for a good clap back so that then you can comment as yourself responding to
Watch
them.
this self snap.
Then someone sent me a screenshot. Brittany Christine, thank you for sending the tea. She said the world's worst cover up. One of Maddie's friends commented and said, oops, thought I wrote that comment about being real and genuine from my account, but was logged into Maddie's when she got back from filming. Don't hate me at Maddie Prue. And then Maddie commented back, ha ha ha, you're good. It happens. Love you. Which I don't buy since we found all the fake bot comments under the photo.
And this is the thing too. You're going to leave your friend when you are now on The Bachelor and are getting have overnight have had 300K. I'm not going to leave my phone with my friend and be like, yeah, you can log.
No, not phone. She's saying that her friend had her the friend is saying that she had Maddie's username and password from The Bachelor, and that she was just accidentally logged into Maddie's account and commented.
Let me explain something to you. For someone who has a small following on Instagram, I can tell you the difference between when I had 2,000 followers versus having more. You would notice if you were logged into someone's account who has 300,000 followers because your phone is buzzing. No, it's going
up.
It's when you have someone who has a ton of followers, you can tell the difference when you're on their account.
Also, who of your friends? None of my friends would comment, "Beautiful date, Becca. You are so genuine and real." What kind of friend would comment that?
That was the most perfect comment, Becca. No, 100% correct. I would never comment on your photo. Wow, Becca, beautiful
I'm gonna start
date.
doing it. Wow, Jess, beautiful time with you and your husband. You're so genuine and real.
Broads, let's all start commenting this on like all of our
please.
Because lovely
it's our
secret code.
Lovely photo of Ember, so genuine and real. Heart.
Thousands of comments on Becca's pages.
I think that's the most concerning though. Like you said, it's not like she's the villain. I would understand that more.
Yeah.
It's just concerning to me that she's getting so much good attention. Why is she still creating fake fan accounts for herself?
So I had someone who slid into the DMs, and I'm so sorry I didn't take a screenshot, so I don't remember the broad's name, but she had done some digging and found actually that like on McKenna and Hannah Ann's page that back months and months ago before any episode had aired, so no one knew that they were starting to connect as friends or had seen that there was a few accounts that were like McKenna and Hannah Ann BFFs forever. fan accounts that's like no one would know that they were friends except for like McKenna or Hannah Ann, and they were commenting on like
Is
McKenna's.
that like a joke thing though? Like what is that? You know?
No. Like they were commenting as like it's like a like fan pages for their friendship. But when these
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
started,
It's like that. Is that like their inside joke that they created a fan page?
it doesn't look like it because the comments that they were leaving on like McKenna and Hannah Ann's photos looked like it was like those so genuine and real. Love your guys' friendship. Maybe it's an inside joke.
Are
of
they
theirs.
best friends?
I think that they're close. Yeah.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
I wouldn't actually
At least
have
there
seen
are
that
fan
coming.
pages with them together
Well, that's
and their friendship. But the point is, no one knew about this, and these fan accounts were being created. So it's like, who knows about the fact that
who
you
has
guys
that?
are
I don't have
close
enough
friends?
emails to make that many accounts. I already have enough
I
accounts
know.
between we have Chatty Broads and Becca, and I have a Fin stuff for me and my friends, and I don't have time to be life lover 90250 commenting on my own photos.
It's too much. Anyways, that was some fun
So
already.
that's the tea from this week.
That is the tea from this week.
Before we hop into this episode,
Well, it wouldn't be a Bachelor recap without showing some love for this next sponsor. Becca and I once considered tattooing this name on our bodies, and
we still would.
Yeah, we
if they'll
still may.
sponsor it.
should we do it?
Yeah.
FabFitFun. If anything, I'll be singing this jingle at the birth of your next child, welcoming them to the earth properly.
Yes. Well, maybe one day if we have triplets, we can name one Fab, one Fit, and one Fun. What do you think?
Oh, I like that idea.
Or maybe 3 cats. Maybe instead of my children. FabFitFun
No, not good enough.
FabFitFun is the box filled to the brim with full-size beauty, wellness, fashion, fitness, and tech products. And this box reflects your personal style because the cool thing is you can customize most of the products in your box and really choose the products that match your lifestyle. The box retails for $49.99, but always has a value of over $200. And many of the products cost more normally than what you pay for the entire box.
And the 2019 winter box is on sale now. This box had some of my favorite products in it. And listen, obviously I love getting the box for myself because selfish. But with Valentine's Day coming, this is a perfect thing to get and then give away all the goodies inside as gifts for some of your girlfriends or your kids' teachers. I always get a second box because the products inside make great gifts. I always have like a really cute then last minute gift idea if I'm in a bind with one of Ember's teachers. It was a lifesaver during Christmas time for me. Ember's teachers were thrilled.
Buy those A's. I'm just kidding. And today you can use coupon code CHATTY for $10 off your first box at www.fabfitfun.com, making it only $39.99. That's coupon code CHATTY for $10 off your first box at www.fabfitfun.com.
Okay, can we talk about another gift idea, or at least a gift that I pass out to my friends and my family and random people in bar bathrooms frequently? I'm like the hangover cure Jesus.
Yeah, you're everyone's favorite friend.
I'm the best in the bar bathrooms. It's DHM Detox. I swear I opened my purse. If you want to open it right now, you're going to find packets on packets of DHM Detox in there. I'm always stocked.
DHM Detox's motto is no days wasted after drinking. With it, you're able to enjoy a few drinks without next day nausea, brain fog, anxiety, or headaches. Okay, how it works is DHM Detox uses science to help boost your body's natural response to alcohol with its optimized blend of natural ingredients, antioxidants, and vitamins. You just take 2 capsules after your first couple of drinks, not before, and it helps break down those pesky toxins. You can even double up and take another packet if you're having a real big night out. And like Jess said, these packets are super convenient and easy to take with you anywhere, whether you're on the go, traveling, socializing with friends, in the bar bathroom.
DHM Detox has become a key part of my drinking routine. And listen, this isn't just a vitamin for when you're wanting to party without hurting the next day. I'm the type of person who gets headaches after a glass or 2 of wine. So I take them when I'm just going to have like a quiet night in with 2 glasses of Chard. So I wake up in the morning feeling good and not filled with headaches and anxiety. And don't forget to drink some water and get some sleep for optimal results. And always drink responsibly, broads. And just for a couple dollars, you can wake up feeling fine after a night out of drinking.
So worth it.
And now they have free shipping on all orders in the U.S. And we've got you 20% off your order. Just head over to dhmdetox.com and use promo code CHATTY at checkout. That's DHMDETOX.com and use promo code chatty at checkout for 20% off your order.
I really like how you said your drinking routine. Like, it's now part of my drinking routine.
It's part of my routine. You know, when I'm at home alone, the routine is I turn that hot bath on, and the second I hear that hot bath sound, I go, Chardonnay.
Shots. Just kidding. I know you don't drink
Vodka
liquor.
shots lined up on the edge of my bathtub.
And with DHM detox
in between each shot.
Oh, boy.
No, I drink like a housewife. Trust and believe. All right, so let's get into this episode. God, it was a good one.
Time to crack my knuckles.
I'm
loving this season, Jess.
loving this season too, Becca.
Waiting on pins and needles for the second episode.
So was I, and now I'm waiting on pins and needles for next week's.
I haven't felt this way in a long time. I'm just gonna say it. Like,
I
I'm
know.
normally like, oh, okay, gotta watch the episode. Like, yeah, I enjoy it, but no, Grayston and I are like, when do we get to watch what happens next?
Just itching. And I just want to give you a shout out, Pilot Peter. Honestly, I'm so sorry if I ever doubted you because you've been phenomenal.
Great Bachelor.
I'm a huge fan.
Great Bachelor.
Huge fan.
Love him. Okay.
So we start off
In the middle, in the thick of it.
in the thick of all this Hannah drama. Should we talk about some of the Hannah issues from last week?
Yeah, so we did go a little hard. I will admit that. We did sort of had this attitude like Hannah curated everything, like from the date to the like.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to admit, I'm gonna have to take one on the chin for this and say it was many cups of coffee later to keep myself wound up, and I was a little impassioned. I did not like the date concept, and I felt a little triggered by it. Again, like we talked about, the whole idea of anyone who might have had any sort of sexual trauma in their life.
Yeah.
It was upsetting to me. And then because I didn't like the fact that Hannah was there, I associated with her. Of course, the producers created this.
Sure.
So
Okay, but I do want to then say this
yes,
too.
yes.
So on the other side of it,
On the other side.
I saw a lot being thrown around about people saying like, you know, Hannah's under contract. Even some people using the words like she was forced to do this, and I'm like, okay, let's make this really clear.
Well, I think it all came out because Evan Bass posted and said that he had done some digging and found out that she was forced, which I don't know how.
Guys. Okay, I have not been the Bachelorette, granted, so I don't know how that works. But I have been under the Bachelor contract, and you are never forced to do anything. You can at any time say, I don't feel comfortable with this, or like, no, I really don't want to talk to Peter, or like, you know, it's not appropriate for me to do this right now on his date or whatever. And you do always have that say and that autonomy. No one is putting a gun to your head. And also, I do think it's a little different when you're actually the Bachelor or the Bachelorette. Like, I don't know if you listen to Colton's This American Life listeners, but Colton definitely revealed some production stuff where Colton was like sort of being held hostage.
Colton spilled the creamiest tea I've ever heard in my life.
But, you know, Hannah is not the Bachelorette currently. Like, she's, you know, at her home in LA and she's being shuttled to this day. I mean, she had autonomy over what was going to go down, and she made a specific choice. It's very obvious to sit Peter down and sort of, lay her heart out there.
Yeah. I mean, now understanding now that it was her birthday, that it was aligned with like, you know, stress with Dancing with the Stars and all this, I do have a little more empathy. But I will say the idea of like her being forced to do this, for instance, having been Becca's friend through some of your journey, you have said no to certain things and then also gone against certain things in contract. Are there quote unquote consequences?
There's
because
repercussions.
you'll maybe lose a potential job opportunity? Yes, but you stood by your guns and were like, I'm not comfortable doing this, or I'm going to say this when I feel like saying it. And then, you know.
I think that's like, maybe I just don't see Hannah as the victim in this. Like, she's made over $500,000 now, like with The Bachelorette and with Dancing with the Stars. And I'm sure she feels she would really like to continue to secure opportunities with ABC. And so she's making a choice in everything that she's doing. And so
they
like,
probably said, we want you on the show, on the episode. And she was like,
I think my biggest issue is just what we talked about, which I still stand behind. And that's now that she's upset and seen Peter in this position, and now after all these things have happened with Jed and with Tyler and everything's falling through, I still see it as selfish for her to now interrupt his process to be like, why don't you run away with me, when this is really the first time that she's ever given him a chance after, like he said on the episode, I never said no to you. Like, you said no to me.
Yes.
And I still stand behind that, as well as her, sort of like we talked about last episode, her sort of throwing it back on him and saying, well, you never reached out. Like,
well, I really, again, and I want to pad this with this, and we said this last episode, I think personally still Hannah Brown was the best Bachelorette in my opinion.
Ever?
Yeah, she was my favorite.
Rachel Lindsay?
I felt like Hannah Brown, I loved the season.
I loved the season.
So
I did not see her as like the best Bachelorette. That's just me.
I thought she was fantastic.
Okay.
I thought she was a fantastic Bachelorette. I loved her. I enjoyed every minute of her season.
I did too.
But in this situation, I agreed with Becca. We go hard in the paint with certain things that were probably connected to production? Yes.
Sure.
But I do agree with everything that you're saying in regards to that she did have a certain choice to bring up these things with Peter. And I didn't care for then the comment that was thrown at him on camera about the fact that I thought you wanted to be the Bachelor, because I felt like that right away put Peter in a negative light. It was for
also
the viewer.
Bullshit.
Yeah, because Peter was the one who was literally the least active on social media ever, of like all the top 10 guys.
We didn't see Peter showing up at all these like events and everything. No, Peter was laying so low.
Yeah, because I think he was devastated.
And he made it so clear to Hannah how he felt about her. And he continued to say that even in the beginning of the season. And I think people saw that differently too, where they were like, but it's different because Peter had feelings for her. And that's actually why I saw it as selfish, because I felt like she should have some self-awareness to be like, it's not now fair for me to run back and be like.
And I think for those people who are like, hey, you're being hard on Hannah, and then with Peter, why aren't you being hard on Peter? He clearly is still in love with Hannah. Why? And then he's choosing to be the Bachelor. I think in now this episode, it was very clear that Peter did make his choice. He is trying to move on. And I think even if you are, like, I know for me personally, I've been in relationships where I get myself to move on and I'm ready to be in a relationship with someone else. But when I see my ex,
the feelings are still there.
It comes rushing back, of course, especially when all of a sudden, if you see your ex crying, saying, I made a mistake, that's hard.
Yeah.
But Peter was very clear with what he wanted, and we saw him moving forward with that.
I mean, Hannah kept trying to kiss. Okay, so
Oh my God. When Peter right away said from the top, it sucks hearing that you just thought I wanted to be the Bachelor. And then like you said,
I was floored.
You are the one that said no to me. I never said no to you. I was happy that he right away like made that clear.
Yeah. I also like, again, I don't know. Some of the stuff Hannah was saying was like a little concerning to me, because one of the things she said was like, I let go of someone who didn't hurt my heart. I was like, is this what it's about? It's not about you losing Peter. It's about you now regretting that the people you tried to end up with, that they hurt your heart. And so now you're regretting letting go of someone who didn't hurt your heart.
Right.
That's different from regretting letting go of Peter.
Right. And I feel for her, because she's been literally
a lot.
Devastated relationship wise over the past few months. But I definitely don't think that that's a reason that you should choose to be with someone, is because they didn't hurt your heart.
Well, and then she put him in the position of saying like selfishly, like, let's go catch a flight. And I was sort of like, all right, you're expecting him to make like this very quick decision. And again, it's after he experienced a lot of rejection from her. And I also felt like if you really feel for him, he gave you the option of coming back to the house and staying and exploring things through the journey.
Would that be the most humbling thing ever? Yes.
Did she want to do it? No. She gave him she was like, well, what was clearly communicated is like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'll take off with you right now.
Yeah, we can go jet set, but like, I'm not going to come back to the house.
Right. So that made me sort of question too, like,
yeah. And I think if
like, I feel like if I felt like someone was the love of my life and I truly regretted it, I would be like, I will do what it takes to have my shot with you again.
Especially since if it was, in Hannah's situation, she was the one who last rejected him. So now,
And
she asked
he fought for her all
and
those
he fought
weeks.
for her. Yeah, he
doing
really
that.
did.
So
he was on the show fighting for her.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So if I was in that position,
And fighting for her. Remember how when everything was going down with Luke and everyone was getting angry and wanting to punch him, and Peter was always the one who was like even keel and just like, I only have my eyes on Hannah, and he was the one comforting her when everyone was like making drama.
Yes. So I felt like if you really regret it and you believe this person is the possible love of your life, you fight for that and you go back on, you fight your way through those girls to get to be in the final with that final rose.
I completely agree. I never would do it. But I agree.
But that's what I'm saying. I think if I really was I regret this and I want to be with this person, I think I would.
Yeah. Yeah.
You wouldn't want to miss out on that shot at love.
No, I completely I completely agree. Well, when he said, "Oh, Peter has a lot of good insight." He was raised well. You can tell that he's had some great conversations with his parents because he made that comment saying that he's nervous because he wants someone who wants him back. And he's like, when I've been thinking about you, I'm thinking, is she just missing the what ifs, not actually missing me? Which literally hit me in the gut. I felt like I was going to throw up because when I was watching their dynamic in this specific situation, then even taking into consideration the production and her and all that, I was like, I feel sick on both ends too, because it's like when there's heartbreak everywhere. And I do feel sick because I do think for her, it is the what ifs more than Peter. And the what ifs suck too. The what ifs suck.
They blow.
So he's hurting like crazy because he's still dealing with having been in love with her. And then she's dealing with, did I make the right decision? Or, excuse me, did I make the terribly wrong decision? And what if I would have been with Peter and da-da-da-da-da?
Which I actually think she made the right decision in terms of like the bigger picture. I think the whole journey really seems like it has taught her a lot, you know?
I think so too. And I don't think that I
think her happy ending will come.
I think so too. Even though, I mean, will it come on this season? Did she walk away? Yes. But as we found out from many, many DMs, her comment when she posted the photo of them or the little video of them flying around and said Bud, apparently that's his like cute nickname that his family calls him Bud. So there was like an endearing piece to that. So will she be back? Is she the one that Barbara is screaming about?
I mean, it was just so awkward. She kept trying to kiss. I thought they were going to kiss. I was sure of it.
Becca?
His self-control.
I was pacing watching it. Like, it's going to happen. I knew it was going to happen.
And she kept leaning forward.
Oh, God.
Oh, baby.
Oh, my God. And you know what? When this was all happening, who was it? Oh, Alexa. It flashes to Alexa and Kelsey. And Alexa, girl. Oh, my God. I'm so hard on the Alexa train. It's stupid. But Kelsey and Alexa are having that conversation. And Kelsey's like, I'm best friends with one of my exes. And Alexa says, I know that I fall back in sexually, so I can't do that. And I was like, Alexa, I'm with you. I can't do it. I can't be best friends.
Every ex I've ever like been besties with, you better believe we're hooking up every single fucking time we hang out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The sexual tension is high.
You've already done it, so why not keep doing it?
And then you see the person, you remember them, you remember their smell. Oh, God.
Granted, if you're with someone new, though, like I do keep on friendship terms with some of my exes. Are we hanging out and grabbing dinner together and hanging out at each other's houses?
No. Can I be alone with them? Absolutely not. Not unless I'm looking to have another child. Sorry, Evan. But yeah, I was literally confident that they were going to start kissing.
And he held back so much, which I really
she crawled into his lap. Remember when she crawled into his lap?
It's so cringy. It's really so cringy because it is. I say it's cringy. Like I feel sort of bad and awkward because he was just holding back and he was not taking the bait.
And he was raging.
I think that it really reflected though his dedication to the show and the process. And I think he had so much respect for the women that he was like not willing and respect for Hannah, that he was not willing to do anything that would compromise his journey or give Hannah the wrong idea if he wasn't ready to commit at that moment.
Well, and she's like holding him. They're staring into each other's eyes. And then he finally says, I can't do this. I need to go back to the girls. And she pulls him in again. And I'm like, just let this poor guy go. He's panicking. He's trying his best. He is about to kiss you, and it's about to look very different for him and his situation with the ladies. But then
that's wisdom. Can you imagine with the girls finding out that he's macking with Hannah backstage?
Truly.
Not good.
And then when he then is walking off and then saying to himself, like, I didn't handle this the right way today. And then he's questioning, we broke up so recently. Is it okay to feel this way, right? He was having like really respectful questions.
Inner dialogue, yeah. Great
inner dialogue. And to all the people going, oh my God, Peter is still in love with Hannah and he shouldn't be there. Da-da-da. No, this is good inner dialogue. He's
good
having.
Processing.
Yes, it's just processing, and he's being very open about it.
And I think because he was able to make that decision and say like, no, I am, we're not going to do this. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, that was awkward. She did not like that.
No.
Yeah. But and I give him a lot of slack too with this conversation with Hannah, because she is so familiar and like comfortable in this new chaotic journey. And, like you said, he still has feelings for her.
Yeah. And that's okay. And now they have this in common.
Yeah.
They both
this experience
know how stressful it is to be in this situation.
And I agree with you. I think it's totally okay that he's just processing through it and he's getting over her, and it's not going to be overnight. And I still 100% think he can pursue his future wife.
Bring her back to us. Okay. So then he pulls the women downstairs, and this is again another moment where I was literally like chanting his name just because he's right away honest with the women. And this is what I loved about him, because I feel like I could have seen other bachelors in the past throwing like Hannah under the bus. He got in front of the women and he didn't go, well, she came on and now sorry about that. And do you know what I'm saying though? I could see numerous people making it Hannah's fault. Instead, he was just like, obviously, like, I thought it was a good idea. It wasn't. And then her and I were talking and some things came up for her that she was surprised about. And this is a lot for me. And I don't think I'm in a good headspace, and I need to take some time alone.
I got to imagine though, it was very jarring for these women who have sat around for hours.
Oh,
now hours in the wings waiting,
written their
and
sex
he's
novels.
Like,
I'm
they're holding books.
In.
Yeah. And he's like, so my ex swung through, super emotionally distressed. What we had was real, by the way. And so I'll see you guys later.
I don't know if I want to be here anymore. Gotta go.
See you guys tonight. I'd be like, you could
so
read it all over their face. And then, of course, Natasha goes, well, your feelings haven't gone away. She hasn't gone away.
Oh my God. Natasha was killing me. Natasha was the voice inside of all of our heads. Like how I would
and
be
all
feeling
the girls are kind of uncomfortable,
way.
like every time she would say something.
Oh no, it was insane. Also, speaking of Natasha, bless all of you broads for sliding into my DMs and telling me who she looks exactly like, because it was driving me crazy. It is an actress named Tika Sumner,
100%.
And it's literally Natasha's twin. I know about her from Gossip Girl. She used to hang out with Nate Archibald in Gossip Girl, and they're actual identical twins, and they're goddesses, and that's all. Okay. Thank you.
So, yeah. And
Natasha
then
and Sydney are upset.
His response where he's just like, totally valid, totally fair, totally get that.
He sees them. There's no denial. There's no, okay, but he just valid point.
Okay, so moving on. Evening portion of the date. Alexa's looking really cute in her leopard jumper. Just gotta throw that out there.
Oh, you know that I wrote that down. I was just like, girl, I'm alive. I am alive for this outfit. Yes.
Natasha is ready to come for him.
She is going off about the nerve that he would cancel on this group of beautiful women.
And that's what I said. All the girls are kind of like nervously like, like, yeah, you confront him. Meanwhile, I'm just going to be trying to get some make-out time in.
You please say something. Don't put this shit on us. We're not saying anything. Natasha is like literally ready to murder Hannah, like straight up.
And I'm loving it. I was loving it.
What I like about her, what cracks me about Natasha is that, like, yes, there was that drama with McKenna, but in this episode, we just see her like loving on all the girls, and her eyes are just like on Hannah B, and she's like, game over.
And she's like, so what are your intentions here, bud?
I know she was taking care of all the other women. Hey, we make sure that we're on the same page, my friend.
Well, I was dying because then when she went to confront him,
oh my God,
he disarmed her to the max.
disarmed
the
her.
end of that conversation, she was giggling like, "Oh, stop."
Well, he first of all comes back and immediately apologizes
Yes.
again. He's like, I'm putting the past behind me. He says he's done with Hannah.
He says Hannah B is in the past.
He says Hannah B is in the past, and he says that he gets if the women are upset with him, he would be too. Like,
Which I was like, okay, Hannah B's in the past. All right.
yeah, all right.
So I don't know.
See.
I don't think she comes back. Do you think she comes back in this season?
I don't know.
Which will be a little ironic considering how much flack Luke P got from coming back after she told him to please leave. Not quite the same scenario. However,
Yeah, definitely not the same scenario. But Peter does want her not to come back. So we'll see. I sure hope that she doesn't.
Me
She
too.
can find a beautiful man here. There's lots of other lovely men here in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
I
get on Rhea.
I think somewhere.
We have some friends on Rhea, nice guys.
Hannah, we know
Get on
some
there.
nice people. I know a couple of our guy friends who would literally die to be with you. So, here we are. But yeah, oh no. So he comes back. I do have to comment on his little moment with Alexa because we haven't seen a lot of her. I really liked their little dynamic because she was like really gracious, but she also gave him a hard time. She was just like, what were you thinking? Like, it was so recent that you guys broke up. Like, what did you think was going to happen?
It's like, I don't know. The producers just told me that she should come on and do a date. Like, what?
But yes, Natasha. Oh my God.
She's coming to confront.
Oh, she says, there are some things that you still need to figure out. You should figure them out, but not at the expense of us. Which,
And he was
yes.
like, you're so right. He says, like, you're so right. And he turns around and he's just like, there is just something about you. And she's just like, me? Stop.
Oh, no, he
Me?
literally just took her in his hand and was just like, I will see you. I will acknowledge your anger. And then I will compliment you. And I was like, that's how it's done. That is how it's done.
Husband material.
Husband material. All I could think about.
The arguments he could diffuse with us, Jess?
All I could think about was like if Evan would do that move more often.
I know, I was gonna say,
if
Evan
we'd
and
be
Grayson are-
fighting. Yeah, they're quaking right now.
Why do you think Peter's mom is so happy? Apparently his dad, what he's modeled is just being like, you know what, Barb? I totally hear you. That's so valid. I really do need to work on that. And have I mentioned how sexy you were looking in this morning in that bathrobe? I mean, this is what is keeping the spark alive between...
and there is clearly still a spark. Something's working. So, my goodness.
Take notes, men, from Peter.
Notes.
From the Peters.
Men of
They're
the
both
Bros
Peter,
Squad.
right?
Yeah,
Not
by the way,
Jim.
we also called Peter's dad Jim the entire episode last time, and apparently his name was also Peter.
He
But
looks
I'm
like
going
a
to
Jim.
continue to call him Jim because
We got to
thinks of a
distinguish
Jim.
between both Peters.
Yeah, which Peter? Dad
So,
Peter? We're going to call him
Take
Jim.
a note from Peter and Jim. You
Yeah.
know, that's... So that was just hilarious to me because by the end of it, Natasha was like, I like this Peter guy.
I
you
know.
like-
He won her over. Well, Sydney and Peter.
Oh,
So
boy.
Sydney was the other one who was not happy. And she also made that clear to him in a little more of like a doe-eyed way.
And by the end of that, they were macking all over.
Oh, they were all over each other. Oh my God.
I think Peter likes a little bit of that tension, though. I think he thrives on a little bit of diffusion of the situation.
I think we're seeing by the women that he's getting rid of and the women that he's keeping that Peter likes a little bit of drama in
Likes
his
a little
life.
spark.
He likes a little spice.
Like keeping on his toes.
And we see, speaking of Sydney and Peter, by the way, we see in the preview for later on in the season that Peter and Sydney have sex.
Is that
It says literally, you hear
you hear someone else say though they had sex in the hot spring,
they said Sydney and Peter had sex in the hot
but
spring.
also that could be hearsay.
It could be hearsay.
So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. But
Okay.
holy shit!
But you can tell that they have crazy sexual chemistry.
I think they might be. I don't know if that exactly. I think they might be setting that up because they set it up with Peter being like, sex is important in a relationship. You see them macking in the hot spring, and then you hear someone say Peter and Sydney had sex in the hot
But then
spring.
you're seeing everyone freaking out. And then he says, yes, I have been intimate. So maybe she's the one that he's intimate with.
I do not fault him. Sydney is so hot.
Sydney is so hot. And she has that thing. She has that thing. I want to see her on the screen more. When she talks, I kind of like, I lull
actually-
into her, like what she's saying. And like, she speaks in a very relaxing way.
That's
and I'm like,
actually great. I totally disagree with you. Where like when
Oh,
Sydney
really?
talks, she does this like very like monotone, flat, like she sounds dumb to me, but I know she's not dumb.
Oh, really?
Thing.
Oh, see,
Drives me nuts.
Her words like lull me. And I'm just like, I'm on a giant a giant bed of pillows, and she could tuck me in.
See, I can't do it. However, I do think she's very beautiful, and I hope they have sex. Really
hoping for that. So to McKenna and Peter.
The first thing she brings up is dancing.
Of course. By the way, in our cast bio episode, we were showing videos of McKenna doing her quote unquote cringy wine dance, which she does also in the fashion show later. But then we ended up finding other videos of her where she's like a professional dancer. So like her cringy wine dance is not so cringy. And we were talking about how it's not cringy because you can tell she's a good dancer. Well, it turns out she's like a legit dancer.
So of course she's like, you owe me that dance.
Yes, because she knows that she would kill it on the dance floor. Of course,
she ends up
propped
on the bar. On the bar counter.
So, I mean, check mark for McKenna. She's one of the few so far that have gotten the counter treatment.
I'm almost like more skeptical now of the counter girls. I'm like, I don't know, like who's going to deviate from the counter?
Right. So like, you think the counter girls aren't going to be the final girls? Maybe. Okay. Interesting.
Can't believe it.
It might be a warning sign.
And now I can't stop thinking about Sydney and him having sex in the hot spring. First of all, bacteria. Secondly,
number one,
this season's gonna get so spicy.
I can't wait. I would like to say something about McKenna, and we'll get into this later. Yes, I think McKenna is the girl who says all the standard Bachelor catchphrases. Like, she is the girl who has, I think, watched every single season, knows exactly what to say, exactly when to hold back, when to be cute, when to do all that. I did feel bad for her in this episode because I felt like,
why?
Because of the interaction with Kelsey, I felt bad for her.
Oh yeah, I felt actually strangely less bad for her than I did for Hannah Ann.
I felt
like
bad
Hannah
for
Ann
both.
got the brunt of it.
I felt yes, but also Kelsey came for McKenna so hard when McKenna literally didn't do anything. She took him away for like 3 minutes.
I guess I just thought it was over so fast though. The thing with McKenna, Kelsey didn't hold her rage for McKenna.
Yes, but she also went after McKenna's character in a giant circle of people.
Dude, that was insane.
And McKenna hasn't done anything.
Let's get to that.
Okay.
You're skipping ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm so passionate about this whole Kelsey situation. Okay.
Well, I do have to say I love when then he's about to give the rose and I'm it's not just a McKenna thing. I die every time when someone's sitting on the edge of their seat, like nodding their head along with him talking.
McKenna's on the edge of her seat doing that every single rose ceremony. They always flash to McKenna, and McKenna always is nodding, going, "I know this is my rose."
Like, this is about me, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So
She's manifesting it, you know?
She kind of gives me Olivia Cardi vibes.
I can totally get that.
You know what I mean? Like, she may snap at some point in the season, but she's also composed. It's the eyes, maybe.
And, still, at the end of the day, a nice person.
Exactly.
Albeit annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of thing.
But Sydney gets the rose. Foreshadowing.
I love that moment in any season with any person where they're like, "That's my rose," and they're like,
the face.
The slow blink.
I didn't want the goddamn rose anyways, because the girls who get the roses early on go home. Always.
Everyone's gonna lose their shit when Sydney fucks him.
Oh. Lose it.
Well.
Okay, well, before we get into this whole cocktail party fiasco. Oh my God. So these women and Peter are going to start traveling the world pretty soon, falling in love abroad.
Exciting stuff.
But you got to stay up on your health and wellness so you're primed and ready for love.
True.
And to be honest, one of the most convenient ways I can think of to get all the vitamins and supplements that you need is Care of. Care of is a wellness brand that makes it easy to maintain your health goals with a customized vitamin plan that helps you feel your best today and support you long term.
I love 2020. I
I also love 2020.
I love Care of. That's what I was gonna say.
And especially care of in 2020.
And what I was going to say, it was 2020 here, and with a lot of us talking about our resolutions and all that, instead of that laundry list of resolutions you don't end up sticking with, Care of can make taking your vitamins and supporting your health goals actually attainable and something you can stick with. Care of is focused on the quality, science, and research that goes into each of their products and recommendations, and their convenient daily packs are perfect for an on-the-go lifestyle. You can just throw one in your purse or your gym bag, and you're on your way. Great for traveling too. And by the way, the individual eco-friendly packs are made of compostable films, and there's tons of info on how to compost them on Care of's site.
Yes, they make it extremely easy for you. For someone not thoroughly educated in health and wellness, trying to figure out the vitamins and supplements you need can be really overwhelming. But Care of's online quiz makes it so easy. It's just a short online quiz, and you answer some questions about your diet, health goals, lifestyle, and Care of will recommend a list of vitamins and supplements specifically for you. You just answer easy questions like, how much sleep do you get? Do you work out? Do you have any specific diseases that run in your family? Are you concerned about your hair and skin and all that? I have a bunch of vitamins to help with my immune system and heart health because of family issues. It's great, and the convenience makes it so easy for me to remember to take them daily. And today, Care of has a deal for the broads for 50% off your first Care of order.
That's such a good deal.
I know. For 50% off your first Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code CHATTY50. That's 50% off your first Care of order by going to takecareof.com and entering code CHATTY.
I've also done a little bit of maths, and I think Care of saves you money instead of having to buy multiple bottles of different vitamins and supplements.
Yeah, I know a lot of times.
Usually you have to get a new one every month.
Yep. And I end up big bottles go to waste like on my shelves. I'll end up like not actually going through them, and completely.
Oh, all right.
So
next portion.
So next portion is the cocktail party before the rose ceremony. We have an interaction with Lexi and Peter. This is the first time that we actually see Lexi. And a few things. Number one, she's very monotone, but I liked her in this interaction a lot.
I thought that Peter actually had a terrible memory before he pulled out the toy car. I was like, oh my gosh, another intro he's just totally forgotten.
I thought so too,
she's
but
like,
I was also like, look, he's still being so honest.
I was like, how sad. She's like, we sat on the back of the car and talked. Like I really thought he didn't remember.
We are seeing a gift giver beyond gift givers. This man is bringing gifts for these women. Like
love language
for sure. He got the thing of rose or flowers the other day for Victoria, and then he's got the car for Lexi. He brings Madison a photo of him or her with his family. Like, he's very thoughtful.
Yeah.
And I picture him wrapping all of these himself 100%.
Oh, he is totally going to be one of those husbands where, for like Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, birthday, Christmas, he's got like, he buys you a star named after you, one of them. Sure. And then he has like this. Yeah, it's going to be
There's always going to be rose petals leading somewhere.
He's a romantic.
He is a romantic. But I loved how Lexi handled the situation. I like that she was really intentional about like kind of having a moment with him where she was like, yeah, I'm putting myself in your position and I appreciate your honesty and I'm here for you if you need to talk. I don't know. I feel like that's always a good move.
Sure.
If I were to be in the mansion and there was drama like this, I would make sure that I was the girl that pulled him aside.
You want to be the refuge. You want to be the
exactly.
oasis.
Like, I see you. I understand you. I see that this is stressful. And if you ever feel like you need to talk, I'm a safe place for you. And she put that out there.
It is a very good move.
And then he calls her a goddess, by the way, which again, how many check marks can I put all over this man? When a man calls me a goddess,
I want to just say, actually, also before we get into this night, that from my experience on the show, that I guess it's technically the first ever real cocktail party, correct? Because you have like,
what do you mean?
It's like the first cocktail party before the rose ceremony, if you're not including night one.
Right.
Yeah. That one was like the roughest, like emotionally for everyone.
Really?
On my season. Like
okay.
and so actually it was kind of funny because when we were going through this, it was like very dramatic and a lot of like bad vibes. And I was like, I I actually remembered that was like one of the worst nights in terms of that.
Why do you think that is?
I think
it's sleep?
I think it's the sleep deprivation. I think also everyone's really on edge because there's still so many girls, and I think a lot of people are feeling like they don't get sufficient time with him, and they're stressing about that, and they're stressing about if other people he has better connections with. And so I think just like the tension and the stress levels are really, really high, and people are also getting kind of stir crazy being in the house.
That
and
totally makes
all
sense.
of that kind of thing. Because I actually have a specific memory from that night where like I had to remove myself, and I was like hiding on the edge of the property, and I was just like sitting all wrapped up in my fur, and I was just like, bad vibes, just stay out here.
Protect yourself.
Just, you know, you're good, girl. You know, you're good. You
Yeah.
had your conversation with him, and I just had to like remove myself because it was very high energy and high stress and very like difficult to be around. And a lot of people were losing their shit.
Well, we definitely saw a lot of shit being lost, so that seems to make sense.
Yeah. So
Okay, so this whole saga starts because Kelsey hasn't had any time with Peter, and she has this bottle of champagne.
Did we ever find out what's the special thing about the champagne?
I think it was just she got it on her birthday last year.
She just said she's been saving it for like a very long time.
1 year. It was her birthday champagne. We never found out if there was anything specific, but I don't think that there was. I think it was just her birthday champagne, and she was saving it for a special occasion.
So first off, I'm
Also, girl, it should have been refrigerated. Put that in a cellar or whatever for optimal drinkage, but whatever. It's fine. Put on your shelf. It's fine. It's fine. Might be flat. It's fine.
I think that I immediately was like, well, you know, obviously this is going to get stolen.
Of course,
Obviously.
you put it out there, and of course, because the Bachelor producers work as hard as the devil, they put out another
Harder.
bottle
They
of
work harder.
champagne. They work harder. Very true. They put out another bottle of champagne in a very similar, display, so that it could be easily mistaken. And you know that they told
Whoopsies.
Hannah and Peter to go over and have the bottle of champagne.
Well, so first of all, McKenna takes him when I guess Kelsey said that it was her turn.
Even though we never see Kelsey saying, I'm next, it's just like in her mind kind of assumed.
Sure.
And then she literally loses it on McKenna. And McKenna is very...
I could not believe that you already brought it up, but I was freaking out. She was wildin', sitting her down in front of everyone in the room.
Everyone. And dude, she's just like... McKenna right away this is the thing with McKenna, is that she right away accepted it, and she was just like, okay, but
I think
like
she was flabbergasted. Like it's kind of like, what the
but
fuck?
she also said like, hey, I intentionally only went away with him for a few minutes, and she's like, what's so that the rest of you guys could have time. She said what's the difference between me taking him now or later for a few minutes? Like, I don't understand. And then Kelsey's just like, it's bullshit.
I mean, Kelsey was just in her own little world. I was like, what are the fuck are you going on about?
She's like, there is disrespect, and you disrespected me. Yeah, and she's saying that she's a snake. And then what was the worst part to me about it is that McKenna's just kind of looking sad and quiet and letting Kelsey speak. And then Kelsey says, you have to live with that, and I know you don't care.
I'd be like, no, I don't care, because this really has nothing to do with me, you psycho.
But then McKenna goes, I do care. And Kelsey's like, clearly you don't. Don't expect my sympathy. And like McKenna's just like watery eyed. And I'm like, dude, that if I would have been in McKenna's,
so fucking confused, for one.
I give McKenna props for not literally like having a full Real Housewives moment and throwing a drink in a face, because if someone would have literally verbally assaulted me like that when I did nothing, I would have flipped out.
You would be like, what the fuck are you going on about? Like, I getting that you're having issues and that you're not connecting with Peter or whatever, but like me having time with him has nothing to do with you. You're right. I don't care because I don't even remember what your name is. Okay,
Yeah,
bye.
Exactly. Oh, I would have lost it. And McKenna just started to like cry, and it was really sad.
I mean, I
felt
imagine
really
that she
sad for
probably
her.
was like very shocked of like, what the fuck? Why am I being confronted in front of all of these? Like, what?
Oh, it
So
was
bizarre.
crazy.
It was bizarre.
It was
And
crazy.
it very displaced, all that. Okay, well, then we get to Madison.
Yes. They obviously have a connection, and then
Although
Peter,
she was just like laughing at everything he was saying. Did you notice that?
Yeah, there wasn't
she
like
kept going like,
and then Peter's just like
leaning forward.
Peter's like, Listen, I have a surprise for you. I actually bought you more bots and fan accounts to bump your Instagram activity.
Oh my God.
But he gives her a framed photo.
I was like, what the fuck is she supposed to do with this unless she marries him? What are you going to do that? Keep it as a keepsake?
I'm not sure.
But that's the thing. I was like, well, this could be a perfect setup for the Bachelorette because if he dumps her, then she can be like holding that photo in her room crying.
Perfect.
And it's like the
perfection. She's like, thank you so much for giving me this. Puts me
you
one
know, like
step closer.
She's holding it like a child who's lost her mother, or I mean, a
Exactly.
mother who's lost her child, or something,
just
like clutching it to her
grieving.
heart.
Well, I love how she asked though if he has wrapped it himself, and he was like, yes. And the thing is, I believe it because you know why? You know why? Because Peter hasn't lied once in this whole thing. So when he says he wrapped the present, he wrapped the goddamn present.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. Also, Alea,
Her velvet magenta ensemble.
insane,
I knew you were dying.
dying.
Her bun.
But Alea is just like
She's sweet.
this angel who's so kind, and even though Kelsey's losing her mind, she's sitting there fixing her makeup and is like trying to distract her and be
girl.
like,
Yeah.
she's like, okay, tell me about the champagne. Tell me more about the champagne. We all need an Alea in our life.
They were all the girls were being really sweet with Kelsey, honestly.
They were
Like,
being so sweet with her until there was a certain threshold hit, and then it was like, I love
Okay,
how
girl.
Tammy was like, I don't want to be associated with this.
No.
Don't drag me into this.
But I did feel, like no one really like turned on her in that
No,
sense. Everyone was
no.
just kind of trying to diffuse the situation and was like, okay, girl, like, no, it's fine. Everything's okay. Just chill out.
I get the vibe that she was like cool and then lost it.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like because all the girls seemed to be like cheering her on.
You never know who's going to be the one to snap.
and then
you know?
she snapped.
You never know.
So, of course, holy shit. Of
The
course.
timing where she's sitting telling everyone about it. And Jess, you better believe I died when that pop. She goes, was that a pop?
You mean the champagne pop heard around the world? I'll never be able to get that sound out of my head.
the pop was around the world?
It was crazy.
That was hilarious.
in the midst of the girls
like-
being like, I'm not going to tell you guys where it is.
her face when she turns around, she's like,
It's like
Was that a pop?
when a prairie dog is like,
what was that? Sydney, it's not your champagne. It's probably not your champagne. It's
Everyone's like,
probably
it's
somebody-
not. It's not. It's
probably
another
somebody else's champagne.
It's the Bachelor. There's champagne everywhere. It's definitely not your champagne. It was Kelsey's
and
champagne.
you know what was so cringy is it's so obvious immediately that Hannah had no idea.
Hannah had no
And Kelsey,
idea.
oh my God. First of all, I'm like, Kelsey, why were you the one to go check to see, like watching
When
her
she
walk in,
walks in and
see
goes,
them?
and she goes, "Excuse me," and then runs away.
It was so sad. It was so sad. And both of them are just like,
If she wouldn't have lost her mind through the saga, that "excuse me" would have literally debilitated me for a week. I would have been so sad hearing it because it was so depressing. But then she flipped.
okay, again, the fact that Kelsey, have some fucking discernment. How old is she? Like 27? God,
yeah,
get
she's
your
one of the
shit
older
together.
ones. Miss Iowa or something.
And she decides to confront Hannah Ann about it in front of Peter.
in
it was
front
just,
of Peter.
Oh my God, it was
Why?
the worst look. It looked so bad.
It looked so bad. She literally like came for Hannah Ann.
It was so cringy.
And Peter she comes for Hannah Ann and then and then Peter's trying to find her and comfort her. And she won't let him see her. He's like knocking at the door. He's like, Kelsey. And she's like, I don't want to see him. Take him away from me.
And then, of course, then Hannah Ann's like, there was a mix-up. The champagne's over here, which
Yeah.
obviously was not her fault. But I was just like, oh, yeah, producers, slick. A mix-up. This champagne hidden behind 3 bushes and 2 chairs. That was the real one.
The
Hannah
real
Ann was
one. The
supposed to
real
find.
one. No, and then I'm loving some of the relationships that I'm seeing with the women. That Hannah immediately went and was like the mediator, and she like ran to Hannah Ann and explained exactly.
You mean Tammy?
Yeah, excuse me, sorry. Tammy ran immediately to Hannah Ann and explained what happened.
Yes.
And she's just like, Kelsey's really upset.
Tammy's
This is
so
her bottle
pretty,
of
by the way,
champagne.
too. I love like the understated dress and like, I love her still.
I know. She's fantastic. And Hannah Ann is just like, she's hearing it, but she's also kind of like, like, before she gets attacked, she's kind of like,
Okay.
All right, it's a bottle of champagne.
What the fuck ever. Get over it. Well, then
I'm about to get $25,000 worth of Revolve clothing, so I really don't care.
So the situation with Kelsey could have been over when they have that champagne, but then of course, the champagne to the face, Jess. The
Becca,
champagne to the face.
I would like to personally thank Kelsey for making my 2020. This is the best way to start 2020. How did that happen? This girl.
I don't know, but Grayson got so many still shots of it. You snapping his camera to try to get the perfect. It was actually unbelievable when he got a still shot of it. It was just.
Well, the fact
and Peter can't help but start laughing.
Of course, how could you not? I mean, it would be like, I felt so bad because how humiliating. But like the fact that before she took down the bottle of champagne, she like almost knocked over the other bottle of champagne, and then she goes like, I don't even care. And it's like she's dismissed champagne for the rest of her life. Like no champagne bottle is safe around her.
And then the champagne is like, well, fuck you, bitch.
Just like two middle fingers in Kelsey's face. And just explodes.
It was so then after that, Kelsey is like, oh no, time to take out my rage on someone that has literally nothing to do with this.
Yes.
Back to Hannah Ann. The shit she was saying, and she's like, I'm real, you're calculated. I'm like, no, you're just a real hot mess, girl.
It is like, dude,
it was so just.
It is so painful to watch because I personally do believe that Hannah Ann, the vibe that I get from Hannah Ann, as we've discussed, is that she is calculated a little bit. But is there ever any excuse to verbally assault someone like this?
No. She didn't do
when
shit.
they didn't do anything.
She did nothing to
There's
her.
never. It was out of control. It was out of control.
Hannah Ann did nothing. There was a mix-up. It was an accident.
There was a mix-up. And Kelsey's just like talking about how she'd respect Hannah if she'd own up to her sneakiness more and all this. And Hannah's just kind of like, I hear you. Like she says like 15 times where she's just like,
what? Because what else?
I hear
are you
what you're saying.
do?
No, I felt like she handled it the best way.
Yeah, that's
possible.
what I'm saying. Well, there's nothing else to do with someone that's a ticking time bomb
I gotta give Hannah Ann and I have to give McKenna props. They handle it very graciously.
I mean,
in the moment, I would have
laughable
lost.
at that
I would have
point.
lost
Like,
it. I would have lost it.
Absurd.
Well, that's then when Tammy was like, I do not want to be involved in this champagne crisis. Like, I'm so supportive. But now she said this chick is a hot mess.
Yeah,
she needs to go home.
Kelsey's like, let's get Tammy. Let's hear from Tam. It's like, oh God.
And it's like, no, I don't want to be I don't want to be Kelsey's spokesperson. Don't make me the spokesperson for this girl.
No.
So then we have the rose ceremony. McKenna gets the first rose.
She does get the first rose. There wasn't much else to.
Yeah, there wasn't really much else.
Who got the?
We finally see Sarah speak. Sarah finally speaks, and again, I'm like, who is this? And again, shocked by
Beautiful.
who is this gorgeous girl? I'm like, oh, Sarah. Or hey, are we ever gonna see her?
I don't know. We also didn't really see anything of what's her name in this episode. The one that Kelly, like, you know, it's like kind of in these first few episodes, you kind of don't see anything of a lot of people.
Have to give a moment for the truth bomb that Cheyenne dropped. Now, if we'll remember that last week, Cheyenne did not have a good encounter with Hannah Ann, so she could definitely be Team Kelsey because of like her past drama with Hannah Ann, but in a very wonderfully put way, she's like, I think it's fishy the way that Hannah Ann popped the champagne, remembering the confrontation, but the way that Kelsey handled it was all you need to know about who she is, and she has to go. So she even was like, no. Yeah.
But of course, Kelsey is going to stay because, you know, more drama to be had.
Of course,
obviously.
and she gets the final rose. Meaning that, from what I know, or from what I caught, Peyton, Lauren, and Courtney were sent home.
Yeah, I think there might have been one more. I'm not
one
sure.
More. I might have missed.
Again,
yeah,
they didn't really get much
but
time.
Yeah, Peyton, Lauren, and Courtney, from what I know, which I'm really bummed. I didn't want to see more of Peyton and Lauren, and I'm bummed.
I don't even remember who Courtney is.
Courtney was the one with the fake boobs. The newscaster.
Pour one out for them.
At least the newscaster in our minds.
Yes, in our hearts and minds.
She's definitely not a newscaster, just in our minds.
Can't remember what she actually does. So. All right.
But at this point, like, yeah, the Hannah Ann and Kelsey drama is getting real sketchy. To me, they're both very scary in two different ways. I feel like Kelsey's the type of person who like stabs you while making eye contact.
Yeah.
And Hannah Ann's definitely the type of person who maybe it's like poison in your cake later.
She's going to hire someone who will then be connected to someone who will then poison something when you're
Right.
out to brunch with your friends and you'll never find out who it's
And then she'll
traced
like
back
bury you like in her front yard and like put flowers over you and then like be like watering the flowers every
to. I
day.
like that. That's hot.
Yeah.
So the next morning we see the girls. That's hot. Love that for her. The next morning you see them talking. Okay, we need to talk about Tammy's breakfast outfit.
Oh my God.
The little bow in her hair, her little white, like silky pajamas.
Perfection. I know.
I was
love
floored.
her.
Everyone else is looking like the crypt keeper themselves.
I would be
haggard as
wearing
fuck.
I would be wearing my comfy, aka my giant blanket sweatshirt. I'd be looking like death. And
Tammy
Tammy
looks
was
perfect no
just
matter what.
Perfection. Yeah.
Like, I was living for it.
So
The date.
Now, surprise, surprise, they're just sending them now to Revolve.
Can you
They're just shipping them
believe-
to Revolve.
Can you believe Revolve is like, actually, now we are a certified part of the Bachelor franchise.
They're like,
This
you know
is
what?
no longer a future thing. All of you contestants will be involved now.
They're kind of like, Peter's like, you know what? I'm just going to usher a few of you in. I know a few of you are just going to have brand deals anyway, so you might as well get to know your future partners, the
How
future companies you'll be
You're going to be going
with.
to Mykonos next spring with them, so might as well get acquainted now.
Aspen in the winter. It's going to be fantastic.
I still don't know how. I guess I've just never got an invite to one of those Revolve things.
That's shady. I'm upset about that.
Ew, I want to go.
I know they look so fun. They really go over the top for those. Those are like full vacations.
I know.
Bitter.
Whatever. I'm not really buying any new clothes this year anyway, so I guess it goes against my ethos. So, first of all,
Goes against my ethos.
boring. Okay, Janice Dixonson, by the way, speaking of the Crypt Keeper.
I swear to God, I am so obsessed with this woman. When she showed up on my screen, and like this is the crossover
like,
that I needed. Also, Carson Kressley, another crossover that I needed. This would be my dream. I would leave Peter right there. I'd be like, "This is all I need. I'm fine. If you send me home right now, all that I need is to please Carson and Janice. If they are pleased by my performance, I can live."
Oh boy. I think she was displeased with everyone's performance.
She hated everybody.
Literally
she
everyone.
truly did. On brand for her, of course. So they're told that they're gonna have to do this runway model thing, and then they're gonna win $25,000 worth of clothing.
That seems like a lot.
That's a lot. Well, do you saw how many bags? It was like 17 bags.
I'm like, she's gonna have to pay so much extra for like luggage
I
fees
know,
as they're
ABC
traveling around the
better
world.
comp that. Come on.
I also wondered if it was sort of a ploy and if there was like a bunch of empty bags.
Yeah, there's definitely a possibility. Wouldn't surprise me.
Show magic, you know? Yeah.
They'll give him to her after.
So Victoria F is immediately insecure, and honestly, I don't blame her because I actually started to get very nervous about the idea of doing a runway walk in front of all these people.
Yes.
How did you feel about that?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not a good person to ask because in this specific situation, I would be living for this date. I am not a model. I do not do a runway walk, but
It's the walking that would make me nervous.
but
That's the only
I
thing.
would just be like, we're not models here. Minus Hannah Ann is actually like an actual model. I would just be like, I'm going to give it my everything. I'm going to stomp this thing out. I would only be scared of Janice. Janice would scare the shit out of me.
I would
because
be really nervous because I'm not a smooth walker. I got equally nervous when we had to do the what's it called date, the Moulin Rouge date.
Yes, but that's dancing. That's wild.
Well, we also had to do this walk though. Coming out, it's the walking that I'm
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not smooth.
I would have been really excited for this date, but I definitely understand how, especially if you can get like a little bit of stage fright. This is horrifying.
Okay.
And my biggest thing that I'd be nervous about if I was one of these girls is having to pick the outfit because you're getting judged on like what you're wearing too, and maybe you're not someone who's as wardrobe savvy,
Sure.
and that's intimidating when you have certain girls who are.
Well, Kelsey comes to comfort her, and I'm like, okay, so this is maybe why everyone sort of was on Kelsey's side in the first place. It seems like she's kind of cool with all the girls until she wasn't. But, she was like immediately the one to go check in on Victoria.
yes.
Okay, so this is my question for you, though.
Okay.
What were you going to say?
No, what was your question?
I was just going to ask you, do you think Victoria F is actually insecure about this?
I literally went on a full-blown Six Flags roller coaster, like, through this episode, through this 15, 20 minutes with Victoria.
I'm going to tell you, I really don't know.
This is what I believe. My
Tell me.
personal
Lay it out.
personal opinion.
Lay it out
And
there.
and here's the thing, I could be
Lay
very,
it out
very,
there.
very, very wrong. But my notes are covered in I'm so confused. She seems like she would be super confident, but she's not.
Well, yeah.
And she's tripping out and I can't read her. And I was really like, oh my God, she's so nervous. And I felt for her. I really felt for her during this date. And I'm like, oh God. And I was then feeling nervous. But then she comes out the first
then you
time.
see homegirls performing.
And she struts. And she is fire.
There is not an ounce of doubt in her mind of what she's doing.
She is all over the runway, okay? And then the biggest thing is then she comes out in lingerie, which...
Oh, not just lingerie. She does basically like a whole full strip tease.
Yes,
guns a-blazing.
She is looking unreal. She's dropping the leather trench coat. I am getting hot and bothered watching it.
It was insane.
She looks unbelievable.
I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I want to cover this in full detail.
But my thing is this, and I don't want to put any sort of I was living for her runway walks, but I don't. It doesn't line up to me being like, I'm about to leave the show and like throw up. And then you have the confidence to be like, I'm going to strut out in lingerie and make out with Peter in front of everybody. Part of me thinks that this is the type of girl. And then when her and Hannah Ann have the walk off and then she flips again and is like, I'm leaving. And like 2 seconds before she's like, I'm so hot. I've got this and all this.
What?
I think Victoria is the type of girl who, is manipulative in the way that she, just like how later on, even farther on in the date, she like wouldn't look at Peter in the eyes and was like, I can't do this. And like she is begging for the attention, right? So maybe she was actually nervous about this date. Maybe she thought maybe there's going to be girls like Hannah Ann who are professional models who are going to be better than me. So instead of just not saying anything, I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I'm gonna be horrible at this. And then she kills it.
So I think there's always an ounce of truth in everything. So this is actually the way I saw it. I don't think she was specifically insecure about the runway walk because, you know, we've seen this in past seasons. And when the girl actually goes on to do the runway walk, she's a little unsure of herself. Maybe she ends up doing well. But the way that Victoria 180'd and was like, let's go, girl. Victoria's Secret Angel mode activated. That was like, okay.
She took on her namesake.
I do think that Victoria is insecure and judging on what the allegations, I think that she is someone that overcompensates for her insecurities through her sexuality and through her sexual prowess.
Yes.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I do. I think I completely agree
like
with
she's
you.
a conqueror where she's like, her end game is like, how can I prove my superiority to these other women around me by conquering this dude?
Right. I completely agree. I think that I do believe she is incredibly insecure. But I also think that she seems extremely manipulative.
Oh, no, I agree with that.
Right? So there's kind of like this weird... Yeah, like you said, when the type of person that comes off like will probably do well in all the challenges and will always have Peter's attention. But I wrote down in my notes, I think she will threaten to leave every single episode.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's going to be her game.
And I think it also is working with Peter.
Yes, I agree with that. I think
so
he's falling for her.
We'll get into that. That being said, I don't think she had any ounce of insecurity about walking the actual damn catwalk.
No.
Because, okay, so also everyone's going to get free clothes from Revolve when they come off of the show anyway. They're going to get like $25,000 worth of free clothes. So don't worry, ladies.
Holy smokes.
About losing this.
That is a lot.
I mean, I don't know about $25,000 worth, but I mean, like, you're going to get a shit ton of free stuff.
They're going to get a ton.
So Peter's runway walk, stiff at best, 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. He does a strange robot moonwalk at the end. But then he says that he should just stick to flying planes. So he knows. He sees himself. He sees himself.
Natasha actually was owning it.
Natasha owned it. I loved her second outfit choice. Alexa slayed.
McKenna's being McKenna.
McKenna had shticks the whole time. Lexi actually killed it, I felt like, on the runway. Of course, Hannah Ann comes out in a full wedding dress, which the producers
Well, yeah, Alexa's ass was out, which I wanted to just touch on that real quick, and she was looking fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic.
Janice Dickinson is just jealous.
Janice Dickinson was so jealous. Also, her outfit choices, she can put together an outfit.
So Hannah Anna comes in the wedding dress and she says everyone's going to have to see me in a wedding dress marrying him anyway.
And then she threw the veil at him.
Did she get 3 outfits?
No. Yeah, because she had the final runway, the walk off.
No, she also had her pink and gold ensemble. She had 3
everyone
outfits.
got 2 outfits.
But so her day look was the wedding dress?
Yes. Everyone got 2 outfits, but we didn't see numerous of the girls, like any of the outfits, by the way, which really bummed me out.
Well, then, okay, so yeah, Victoria F, though, did not come to play.
No, she did not.
And this is where I actually started to love her in a villainous kind of way. That's what I said. I just want to clarify when I say I fell in love with her, because I was like, oh. Hannah Ann's look of concern when she saw Victoria F's runway walk was everything.
She was felt it in my bones.
You see the cogs turning in her head, and she's like, I thought I had this nailed.
Probably a lot of these girls kind of have like thought, because Victoria F is constantly like, everyone's so pretty and I'm so nervous. Like, this girl, nah, she's so beautiful, but she's not a threat. She's just going to be nervous. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit. Oh, but she will be a threat.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going to
demolish. These tropes of the devil and the angel, I was like, let's go. This is crazy.
Oh, yes.
And so then it comes to the showdown. Comes down, of course, to Victoria F and Hannah Ann, obviously. The dress flick with Hannah Ann.
Dude, now when all of a sudden they were doing the walk off, then Hannah Ann came to play.
I was devastated.
And was like, I was really hoping that Victoria was going to get
because I wanted Hannah Ann to get. I wanted to see her get a little tweaked the fuck out.
Yeah, get a little bit thrown off because it's come so easy the whole time. I mean, minus the explosion of Kelsey on her the night before.
Sure.
But she did that dress flick 4 times. Mm-hmm. She could have killed someone with the way she was whipping that thing around. Mm-hmm. And Victoria really didn't bring it the second time. You could tell she was like. Also, I hate when they make them walk side by side. That runway is not big enough. You need more room. No. They should have had a separate walk off.
Yeah, I agree.
I was very bummed out that they made them walk together.
And then, so Hannah wins.
Demand round 2.
Hannah Ann wins 57 bags of Revolve clothing. This is the thing, though, when it comes down to the end of the night, who got the rose and who got the clothes?
Ooh,
I didn't mean for that to rhyme.
Tagline.
I'd take the rose over the clothes.
I would definitely take the rose.
So
I would definitely take the rose.
And it kind of worked in Victoria's favor because then she had something to cry about.
That's so true.
So it all actually kind of unfolded.
She's like, this has been part of my master plan the entire time.
It worked.
Well, speaking of clothes, okay. We've been talking about living more sustainably lately, and I know you, Becca, have been on a big sustainable life journey lately.
Oh boy,
a big
am I going for it.
Well, on our Sustainable Living podcast, we learned from Sierra that one of the best ways to shop for clothing and such is through consignment or secondhand. Well, we are here to tell you about an amazing company that slays the luxury consignment world game. It's The Real Real.
The Real Real gets me in trouble. It's the leading reseller of authenticated luxury consignment from top designers like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Rolex, Cartier, and hundreds more at up to 90% off retail. Ugh. Yeah, up to 90% off. And you can shop and consign women's and men's luxury fashion and streetwear, as well as fine jewelry, watches. I'm always browsing the watch section, art and home goods. New arrivals come in daily, and every item undergoes The Real Real's meticulous authentication process. In fact, The Real Real employs over 100 plus brand specialists, gemologists, horologists, and art curators from around the globe who inspect thousands of items each day to ensure every item is authenticated, so you're not getting duped.
Oh no, The Real Real is the real deal. It's the real deal. Let me tell you, broads, as an ex-wardrobe stylist, I do have quite a passion for some designer gear, but I've never been able to afford it. It really is so expensive. And when I checked out The Real Real for the first time, I was floored. I mean, incredible deals on gorgeous products that that are inspected and taken care of. It's very shocking. Evan actually got my Christmas present from The Real this year. It's a little Gucci ring that I couldn't afford normally, but it was 70% off its original price and in pristine condition. So you can shop luxury the sustainable way. Go online or download the app, or you can actually visit one of their stores. They have one in Soho or West Hollywood, and they have a new location on Madison Avenue, I believe, in New York. I highly recommend going to one of their stores if you can. And consigners, try out the Real's white glove service for free in-home pickup today. Shop in-store, online, or download the app and get 20% off select items with the promo code REAL, REAL. That's therealreal.com, promo code REAL for 20% off select items. You know what else is real?
What?
The drama. The absolute drama of trying to go to the post office these days and send something. It's the worst. I swear to God, the amount of things I bought online and needed to return but never did for years because I didn't want to deal with the post office is upsetting. But this hasn't been the case anymore because of Stamps.com.
Stamps.com brings all the services of the U.S. Post Service right to your computer. Whether you're a small office sending invoices, an online seller shipping out products, or even a warehouse sending thousands of packages a day, Stamps.com can handle it all with ease. Simply use your computer to print official U.S. postage 24/7 for any letter, any package, any class of mail, anywhere you want to send. And once your mail is ready, just hand it to your mail carrier or drop it in a mailbox, and it's that simple. With Stamps.com, you get 5 cents off every first-class stamp and up to 40% off priority mail. Not to mention it's a fraction of the cost of those expensive postage meters.
Yeah, Stamps.com actually saves you a ton of money. Stamps.com is a no-brainer, saving you time and money. It's no wonder over 700,000 small businesses already use Stamps.com, including us here at Chatty Broads LLC. So give yourself a resolution you can actually keep this year. Stop going to the post office and go to Stamps.com instead. There's no risk, and with our promo code CHATTY, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial plus free postage and a digital scale. It's very, very cute. No long-term commitments or contracts. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, and type in Chatty. That's Stamps.com, promo code Chatty. Stamps.com, never go to the post office again.
Thank God.
Thank God.
So
let's, speaking of sending something, let's send it with this drama. What a way to wrap.
So Victoria F it's a good move. Like you said, a manipulative move, a good one. She's like, I don't know if I can do this.
She didn't even look at him, and she's making him ask her what's wrong.
Reeling him in.
He is her trout. He is her marlin. She's reeling him in.
Yep.
Straight up.
I mean, he says, I know you're like not like any of the girls here. Like, well, that's an understatement.
Lord in heaven. She's like crafting this situation where he is able to be his most gentlemanly self. You know what I mean? And it's like, because he is a gentleman, he probably really enjoys leaning into his gentleman ways. And she is creating that for him, just like when all of a sudden he tries to move her away from the cameras to give her privacy, which was such a sweet move. He's literally like redirecting her and kind of like, okay, like be over here and it's okay. And he's just comforting her. And oh man, it's a little frightening.
She has got him wrapped around her finger. She knows exactly what she's doing.
She was one of those ones where it was like, you know, last week because of her weird second encounter with him where she was telling him again about her opening line. And
you didn't know how it was going to go.
Are you going to go next week or this week? I think she's
a little bit of the crazy came out to play, and he is into it.
He loves it.
Also, though, they didn't start like making out hardcore, which I sort of expected. It was a very light kiss, and she maintained this sort of like damsel in distress mode.
And just like you said about the counter, I'm having this feeling about these girls that maybe he's not
playing all the normal moves with. Who's switching up the game on him.
Yes, and he's loving it because he's normally the one in control. He's normally the one in the pilot seat. In the cockpit. I do have to make this comment because I was thinking about this the entire cocktail or drinks after fashion show time. Hannah Ann and McKenna remind me of this season's Cassie and Kaylin relationship. But they both think they're Kaylin. Right? Definitely, I think, I don't know who's Cassie and who's Kaylin. I think Kaylin is Hannah Ann, but I think Hannah Ann will go farther. I don't know. We'll see. But their relationship reminds me of that because
they're like the clothing lines we are going to start after this season.
McKenna's very much like they're comforting Hannah, but Hannah Ann is very like confident in herself and doesn't seem like she really needs comforting.
And I think once again we have the situation where like I don't think actually. Do you think Hannah Ann sees herself making it to the all the way to the end with Peter?
You mean, does she want Peter to choose her?
Yes, and does she think that's like when we talk about her being confident, is that what she's confident about?
I think Hannah Ann thinks she's going to get in the top 3. I think
I think she's perfectly fine with that.
And I think she's fine with that. I do not sense a deep affection for Peter. I'll say that. I mean, she seems to me more competitive than anything.
Right.
And she just seems to me to be like a very confident person.
Right.
Which again, hey, guess what? No shade, because if I were to go on this show, I'd go on for the clout. But I don't see her being like over the top in love with Peter. Like for instance, if we want to talk about McKenna versus Hannah Ann, I definitely get more of a sense that McKenna actually like is more or interested in Peter more than Hannah Ann is.
Okay.
I get that energy.
Calling me right now. I think both of them don't see themselves with Peter in the end.
Okay.
I'm actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not sure who I think is the most serious about wanting to end up with Peter.
Yeah, I felt like night 1.
We'll see as it comes.
Because it was hard. Because night 1, we were like, everyone seems to be super into Peter. And then all of a sudden, now this second episode, I'm kind of like, I feel like there's a lot of villains this season.
I think
or a lot of like, I don't know. It's very layered. It feels very complicated.
It's
this
also
season.
week. It's also week 2,
Yeah.
so it is very different. Everyone's just kind of having fun right now, or not having fun, as the case may be. I think when it gets into the top 5, you see actual feelings coming out. So I guess I can't really judge right now because everyone's had maybe like an hour with Peter.
Who do I think? Who am I confident is there because she thinks she's going to end up with Peter? Is Victoria P.
I agree. Oh, Victoria P. I also actually
Crystal.
think Victoria thinks she could take it all the way too. Victoria F.
For sure.
I really think she may.
Yeah, I mean it wouldn't.
I mean, we'll get to the preview.
That part makes me think if it's not Hannah Brown.
Let's get to the end so we can talk about that preview and everything.
Okay.
But of course there's more drama to be had.
There's more. So Kelsey and Peter have a moment, and she comes back after they sit together, and she says that she's got enough validation to be secure where her and Peter are at. I was dying when Lexi goes, "Good for you, bitch." Like friends supporting friends. I loved it. But Hannah Ann is now steaming.
So Hannah Ann starts though, I just want to leave last night behind me. Let's move forward.
Well, I think Hannah Ann is in a panic now because I think she was confident, 100% confident that Kelsey was going home. If not the night before, then maybe Hannah Ann, because Hannah Ann's a smart girl. You can tell she's smart.
Yeah, of course.
She's probably thinking, all right, producers are making Kelsey stay one more day, but Peter's not going to keep her. Peter doesn't like her. So all of a sudden when Kelsey comes back and goes, I got plenty of validation that I'm staying, Hannah Ann's just like, what? He likes you? And I'm watching her start to like bubble over. And then
she's like, we can't have this.
We cannot have this. Someone questioning the and it kept talking about the champagne. I would never do that to someone's champagne. And I'm like, this is so, hearing about champagne talked like in this way.
Touch your
so
champagne.
strange.
I would never do that. But
yeah,
to you.
like you said,
she's right. I want to leave it all behind me. Then she's like, but before I do, before I do. So she takes Peter aside, and I just say it every season. I just can't stand when people do this.
No. I
Like,
also was.
can't stand
I
it.
also was like,
I think even though Kelsey came after her and that was totally unwarranted, I still think it's fucking shady to then turn around and go confront the Bachelor about it.
I know. Well, and especially she started the conversation of the confrontation with him by saying, "I know you're tired, Peter, but I was up last night crying."
All night crying. Yeah. Don't my eyes look pretty right now?
Are you going to compliment my eyes? Quick, before I say more.
Don't my eyes look so not swollen and like I don't look tired at all and I look fully rested and beautiful even though I was up all night last night crying.
So much fighting.
We haven't seen her shed a fucking tear since Kelsey did that
that's
to
why
her.
I think maybe that's why I keep using the phrase confident with her. Maybe it's more like she's not very warm, which she gives all the
Sure.
she gives off all the airs that she would be warm, because I think maybe with him she's a little warmer, but she's a pretty serious faced, like she seems like she's there to compete.
Well, that's the
why
thing.
I
That's
say
the thing. She's playing the game.
it feels like that.
And
It
she's a
feels like
competitive
that.
person.
Yes, because we're not seeing her sweat until this moment, but even in this moment, it's just a blip.
Just like, how dare you say you were up all night crying? My face would be like 3 times its normal size if I was up all night
I would
crying.
be so puffy.
How dare you?
But she then tells Peter that Kelsey told her to fuck off and said
I mean,
that she
all
was
of
a
it was true.
bitch. It's all true, and everything that the way that she approached it was completely inappropriate.
just-
But then Hannah used the B word. She used the B word, and the bully word is the trigger of all triggers on The Bachelor. As soon as the phrase bully comes out, it's just game over.
I think that's saying something. I mean, maybe not always, but I think in this scenario with Kelsey, like yelling at her in her face, I don't know. I didn't see that as bullying. I saw that as like rude and mean and unnecessary and out of control, but I really wouldn't classify it as bullying.
I don't know what like the exact definition for bullying would be. The way that I took it is like I could definitely see the word, like Hannah saying the term bully. I don't go no, because she was
Sure.
literally screaming at her and calling her a bitch and saying she was a snake.
I think it's tactful. That's the thing. Like it is a move for her to throw in, and I felt bullied.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like that. It's like that
She
trigger
knew exactly
word
what she was doing.
in The Bachelor. But I definitely feel like Hannah has been on top of the competition. She's not like, and so I guess
think
when I
that's what I'm saying. I
associate
don't
the
think-
word bully, I think like if you were coming after someone who like
This
I
is
don't
why
know.
I'm critiquing it. I don't think Hannah felt bullied.
Yeah, I don't know.
Taken off guard, taken aback, clutching her pearls, but crying all night. I mean, come on, Jess. Can we agree she was not up crying?
No, she
all
definitely was
night?
not up crying all
She got
night.
the best sleep of her
100%
goddamn
no.
life.
No, she was fine.
Was
yeah,
she
I'm just trying to think of
emotion-
the word bullied. I don't know. It's a weird territory.
No, I guess I shouldn't say what Kelsey was doing wasn't bullying. I shouldn't say that. I take that back. I don't think that Hannah felt the victim of being bullied.
I feel like I think it's interesting. I'll just say this. I think it's interesting that she didn't seem she seemed like uncomfortable around Kelsey, because Kelsey was like kind of being like sitting down and putting out like weird like power. She was trying to like power move in front of her with everyone sitting there.
Yeah.
But I do think it was interesting that Hannah didn't talk about it to Peter, or like didn't really even talk about it much until Kelsey was like, I'm 100%
right.
confident.
And I didn't make that connection, but I think you're totally right.
So I feel like if she would have felt like really fucking destroyed by it, that she probably would have approached Peter before the rose ceremony and been like,
Yeah.
do you hear Kelsey screaming at me?
Instead, it was like at that time, she's like, Kelsey's irrelevant. She's going to go home.
Right.
This bitch is unhinged.
Right. So she wants her gone. She probably felt like, I mean, yeah, put in a terribly uncomfortable position, getting screamed at. No one likes that.
No.
But she was. I think
Or
she was.
doing
I think she
nothing.
was confident Kelsey was going home
Until
and so
she
she didn't want to
wasn't.
make a stir and be that girl to be like send her home. But then all of a sudden now she's not, and now here we are.
Right.
And Kelsey now is going to get the wrath.
Right.
I also love this. I do have to say, another just applause to Peter, is that Peter literally like honed in right away. And he goes, so she said this, she used those specific phrases with you? And Hannah Ann's like, yes. And he's like, I am not okay with that.
Yeah.
And he literally went directly to Kelsey and was like, and he didn't do, because I feel like with Colton would kind of like instigate the drama and be like, well, Kaylin, and then Hannah B.
No, Peter was like,
I
heard you called her a bitch and that she was full of shit and all this kind of thing.
And then he didn't say, did you? And let me think about that. He literally goes, I'm not okay with that if you said that. And it was very direct.
And Kelsey did say all that.
And she did. Of course, she denies it.
I was think she was more like, well, I may have said those things, but she was. Like, I felt like she didn't quite directly deny it. I don't know if I misinterpreted that, but I felt like she was more trying to like wriggle out of it.
Yeah, no, I guess. Because Peter says, if you did call her a bitch and a princess and fake, in that case, it's not okay with me. And she says that Hannah's playing the victim card. That's what had happened. She didn't deny saying it. She then kind of started to craft it in another direction. She's like, Hannah's playing a victim card. She can turn it on. You see a very different Hannah, that typical, like, you don't know her like the rest of us know her. And then Kelsey says that she takes her character very seriously and she's not bullying her. And she says, there's a difference between me saying not nice words to her face and bullying her.
And saying it behind her back, which I don't know. I
don't know what's worse, honestly. But here we are. So I mean, we're left in this like, I don't know.
I mean, I do think Hannah Ann was playing the victim. Like I said, I just can't get her very first line out of my head of "I was up all night crying," which is just utter bullshit.
I think that Hannah Ann is a smart cookie, and I think that Hannah Ann knows how to play the game, and she's probably used to winning most of the time, and she knows that she's probably coming in with like the thickest Instagram following already, and that she's going to be fine because she's already friends with some Bachelor people, and you know.
Got to weed out the ones who are getting in her way in the meantime.
And she coupled up her Cassie or however you want to, her Kaylin or whoever. McKenna is the other one who came in with a bunch of friends who are already in Bachelor Nation. So they've paired up. And I think that there's probably a little bit of strategy. I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know. Well, I don't know next week. We'll see. Do you think he's going to send Kelsey home or no?
I thought Kelsey was going home when he was like walking her out of the little gate thing. I thought she was going home. I was like, oh, is she leaving?
Yeah, but then we see the preview.
Yeah, and she wasn't leaving though. She wasn't leaving because we skipped over the part where Victoria F gets the date rose also.
Yes, but Victoria F gets the date rose, but then he pulls Kelsey aside after he gives Victoria the rose.
Yes. I just wanted to point out that was earlier.
Yes, Hannah and McKenna are devastated.
But Kelsey wasn't being walked out to leave because, I mean, she's then sobbing in the bathroom and then she's going back to sit with them.
Well, but I'm saying like, is he just going to send her home? But then we see later in the season a clip of Kelsey saying she's falling in love with Peter.
I know.
Which I don't think is happening like next week.
No, I think she stays around.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, boy.
Oh, this Hannah and Kelsey drama is going to be intense.
Jess, this preview launches, and these bitches are turning on each other quick.
This is going to get nuts.
This is getting nasty.
This is becoming Rock of Love-ish, for sure.
I don't think I've seen that many women. Like, everyone looks like they are just at each other's throats.
Everyone is screaming at each other. Loyalties are lost. No one is friends. It going to
crazy.
Be all-out warfare for Peter's
Who
heart.
was it? Tammy's screaming with who? Is that McKenna?
I don't remember.
It's Tammy and someone.
Tammy. I feel like Tammy's screaming at Sydney.
At Sydney. Oh yes.
Post hot tub. Hot springs. Excuse me. Oh Lord. I don't know. Well, and then oh God. So we have a preview for next week, and then we also have a preview for later in the season.
The super tease.
The next week preview is Hannah Ann is crying, saying she's not a champagne stealer. So I don't know what happens. This still seems like it's going to carry on, and then oh my God, we see Sydney. At least it seems like she's saying that Victoria P, aka maybe the new Crystal, is putting on a pretty little princess facade.
That's what I'm saying. Everyone is just turning on each other left and right.
looks like we get Demi next week, which I'm so excited
what is
for.
going on?
Thank God it looks like a very violent date. There's a lot of feathers and pillows. People are getting bashed over the head. They're going to take their rage out on each other with a sexy pillow fight, it seems like.
Don't know what's going on.
And then... So
yeah, you cover all this because it was all
on,
a blur, and then of course Grayson and I start talking about everything that's going on. So I always sort of miss the super teases.
Later on in the season, it looks like Sydney. So we see Sydney around because we see Sydney. I think it was in a helicopter with post Peter head trauma because we see a bandage on his head. Okay. So I'm assuming Sydney stays around for a while because I think his head trauma comes a little later in the season. Maybe I'm wrong. It looks like Natasha's around for a while. Mm-hmm. We see her in a bunch of dates that are traveling. It looks like Maddie's around for a while. Kelly and Hannah Ann. Those were the few that I kept seeing over and over again, like that looked later in the season. Again, we see Kelsey saying she's falling in love with him, and then Peter is saying that sex is very important for a relationship. I don't know why it's taboo because it's part of a relationship, and I was like, yes, sex positive upbringing.
He's like, let's go for it. What the fuck ever. Oh boy, he's gonna get himself into so much trouble with these ladies though.
And then he decides that at least it seems like he's going to have sex with the other one from Alabama, Sydney.
I just gotta say, I never think it's always a mess when you start having sex before the fantasy suites. It's always a mess.
People start to get upset.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's wrong, but I think in the scheme of the game, it's an unwise decision.
Now I'm curious. I said that very curious. I'm curious. Because Peter, you hear him talking about that, like, I don't know why it's a taboo. It's part of a relationship. And you see him like sitting with women and being very honest, like, yes, I was intimate and da-da-da. I'm wondering if like he's going to have maybe sex with potentially Sydney earlier on and then be really honest with the girls and be like, I will be doing this. It's an important part of a relationship for me. Because I could see him being the Bachelor who actually ends up doing that and is honest about it.
What's concerning me is what about these conversations with these contestants about birth control? Like if they're just making out in a hot tub, like what's going on?
I don't know.
Because I've heard of the fantasy suites, they'll have like a box of condoms kind of thing. But like what's happening? Is he just like, I'm going to pull out? Like, what's going on?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I feel like Peter,
he's smart enough. Would think.
He seems like he's always prepared.
I also would think that he was smart enough to, I don't know. I just think he's going to get himself in a world of trouble if he starts fucking girls before the fantasy suites.
Yeah, it's going to get a little wild up in here.
I'm loving it. Please sleep with as many women as possible on this season. I want to see relationships crumble. I want to see women sobbing. I want to see hearts devastated and torn apart.
I want Barbara wanting 15 daughter-in-laws.
I want orgies.
We also see Barbara Gate again. And I am drooling. Just drooling at the mouth, waiting for this scene.
Also, what we get is another tease of the end when he's talking with Chris Harrison, and I really think it's Victoria. I really think it's about Victoria.
Okay, so that was my thought when I first saw the episode last week, and he said, and Chris Harrison says, we found out something that none of us knew, and I need to tell you. And I think skip ahead if you don't want to hear the spoiler.
A spoiler?
No. It's something we've already talked about, but people have said, please don't keep talking about this. But it's hard because everyone's talking about it, so it's hard to ignore it. But skip ahead.
It's not like it's just a background about a contestant spoiler.
We've talked about it a ton, but Victoria F is the quote unquote homewrecker. And I was sent a DM from abroad saying that Reality Steve, and I haven't listened because I'm too scared because I don't want to hear any spoilers, but apparently Reality Steve had on his podcast already 2 of her friends whose husbands she slept with on the podcast confirming it. And I haven't checked and looked because I'm scared if I open anything with Reality Steve, I should just have like Evan open it or something.
Yeah, you should. Or have your mom.
Yeah, someone. Apparently the two of the ex-friends / wives of these husbands.
If anyone wants to give us a synopsis, by the way, feel
without
free
any
to.
spoilers, if you don't mind. Yeah. So apparently they went on, or if they haven't gone on, they're going on, and he like announced that they're coming on or something to confirm that this happened.
Holy shit.
So I'm wondering, if this is the moment where Chris Harrison's like, we just found this out. And Peter's devastated.
Okay, I thought you were going to say that you changed your mind after watching the second time, but no, yeah, I felt like the second time around, I was like, this has got to be it.
And again, unless it's Hannah Brown.
I don't really see...
But like her coming back.
But what would they all just find out about? Do you know what I mean? Like, what would Chris Harrison be like? We all just found this out.
The only thing I could think of was like Hannah just called our production and is like begging to come and show up because she doesn't want you to be.
The way Chris says like we found this out,
it seems like
we all
it's
just
tea.
found out. Yeah,
it seems like tea.
Final two.
And what if? And then the big question is, if Victoria is in the final two, does he just say fuck it and chooses her, or is he devastated and ends it?
Doesn't Peter say something? I wish I had written it down. After Chris Harrison says that thing, he's like says something about like I want to make it work, or like I want to figure.
He says my heart is broken, but I won't let her go.
Okay, so that's why I think also that it's not Hannah, because it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, why would his heart be broken?
Yeah,
and he
just doesn't want to let her go.
Oh my God.
She makes it all the way, Jess.
I can't wait, Becca. This is the first time. Why does this keep
happening though? Like
I know, it makes me so sad. I really hope he finds his person because he's so lovely.
I know, here we are all convinced he's going to be like married at the end of this.
I know, and now I'm nervous for him.
Wow.
Oh, broads. I can't wait for next week. I can honestly say, I have never been tempted. I've never been a spoiler person. I'd like to watch along. I've never been tempted in my life to look at a spoiler, and I'm not going to do it. I won't do it, but I am so tempted because I just am so curious. I have to know.
But I'm loving finding it out as we go and speculating and all of that stuff. It's just so fun.
All right, broads.
Thank you so much for tuning in.
Please like and subscribe. 5 stars if you enjoy it.
Give
it
us
really
a
helps
rating
us.
on the Apple Podcast app.
All right, broads.
Chat soon.
Chat soon.